Fallout 4 turning 10 years old should have been a simple celebration, a victory lap for one of Bethesda's most successful games ever. Instead, the new Anniversary Edition reopened old wounds, broke many of our mods, tanked Steam reviews, and reminded everyone why players fear updates more than Deathclaws. Now Bethesda is rolling out what it's calling the Big November patch, with another even larger update promised in December. This video is about what this November patch actually fixes, what it doesn't, and why Fallout 4 is once again in a strange place where stability matters more than nostalgia. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Fallout news. And if you want to further support the channel, consider becoming a member for early access on every video, members only content, your name in the credits, the ability to write in and have your comments featured, and access to the Discord community. When the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition launched on November 10th, most fans weren't expecting miracles here, and no one realistically thought Bethesda was going to reinvent the entire game. Players just wanted smoother next-gen performance, better integration for creations, and maybe a reason to replay Fallout 4 for its 10th anniversary. Instead, the update landed and immediately caused chaos in the community. Mods stopped working, DLC installations broke, and load orders were ignored or scrambled. Some players even had entire DLC packs uninstalled themselves after updating the game, and others couldn't even load saves without hitting infinite loading screens. The new creations menu became one of the worst offenders here. Simply opening it could crash your entire game. Downloading owned creations all at once could flat out break Fallout 4. On Steam, the reaction was swift and brutal, with Fallout 4's recent review scores dropping into mostly negative territory. That's an embarrassing label for an almost 10-year-old game that used to represent Bethesda as one of their top-selling games. But Bethesda did push out a hotfix shortly after, but it didn't really solve the core issues with Fallout 4. It was clear a bigger patch was coming, and that brings us to the November update that we're currently looking at. Bethesda's been fairly upfront about what this November patch is actually designed to do, and this update isn't about new features, it's about stopping Fallout 4 from falling apart at the seams. Crash fixes were the main focus of this update across all platforms. On PlayStation specifically, Bethesda fixed crashes that occurred when starting a new game with creations installed. They also addressed the crash that could happen when exiting an interior location when the Pip-Boy was still open, which sounds niche but happened far more often than it should. On PC, there is a crash tied to selecting purchase credits in the creation store, which feels almost comical given how much the Anniversary Edition revolves around these new creations. Bethesda also fixed the crash caused by selecting download all owned Creation Club items, something players logically thought was safe to do. There was also rare crashes tied to save data load orders, especially when loading saves with missing creation items. These were the kinds of crashes that made players feel like their saves were permanently broken. This patch focuses on eliminating those situations as much as possible. This isn't a flashy update, but Fallout 4 desperately needs fire extinguishers more than fireworks at this point in time. For players modding Fallout 4, this part of the patch might be the most important. One of the biggest complaints after the Anniversary Edition was how much control players lost over their own save files. The November patch also fixes infinite loading when downloading missing Creation Club content from saves made on different platforms, and exit saves once again work properly when backing out to the main menu instead of randomly failing. And now on Xbox, switching user profiles no longer causes soft locks or a total loss of controls, and Bethesda also fixed a critical issue where loading a save file with different enabled creations didn't trigger a load order warning. That meant players could unknowingly load broken saves without being told something was wrong, and that warning system is now working properly again in Fallout 4. Another nasty bug involved downloading a creation and immediately disabling it, which could permanently disable content that depended on it. That issue has been addressed in this new November patch, preventing saves from being silently ruined. Possibly the biggest quality of life fix in this new November patch is the in-game creations menu now respecting the player's chosen load order instead of automatically sorting everything alphabetically. That single change alone restores a sense of sanity for anyone who runs more than just a handful of mods. The Creations menu was seemingly ground zero for Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition's disaster, and Bethesda clearly knew it had to be addressed fast. The new November patch improves performance in the Creations menu across all platforms. Soft locking caused by repeatedly entering and exiting the menu has now been fixed. Infinite loading screens tied to saves that require creations are now gone, and these fixes alone will prevent a lot of rage quitting. Bethesda also cleaned up several smaller but important issues in Fallout 4. Bundle prices now update immediately after buying individual items. Bundle file sizes now display correctly, making it easier to manage storage, and localization issues were corrected in this new update. Players can also now like or unlike creations from the load order menu again, and download creations will remain visible in the load order even after removal from Bethesda.net. which makes troubleshooting a lot easier than guessing what's still affecting a save. But there is one lingering issue that Bethesda has acknowledged. PS5 players with slower internet speeds may encounter a grayed out creations menu due to latency issues. Bethesda recommends refreshing the connection if that happens in your save. Of course, it's not ideal, but at least it's documented instead of being entirely ignored. Overall, it seems like the creations menu is no longer a minefield for players, which of course is a massive improvement compared to how Fallout 4 looked earlier this month when the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition originally launched. Alongside these fixes, Bethesda also added something new to the game, and thankfully it's free. The Varmint Rifle is the first of several planned Fallout 4 creations that will be released at no cost to the players. And this isn't just a weapon slapped into your inventory. The Varmint Rifle is also tied to a small questline that you get to experience. Players fall down a manhole, explore a unique underground space, solve environmental puzzles, and uncover the weapon naturally throughout the game. And of course, being Fallout, you're not the only thing lurking down there. And this might matter more than it actually seems. Afterpaid creations help destabilize the entire game upon release. Offering free content does feel like some sort of olive branch. Of course, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, but it does show Bethesda's trying to rebuild goodwill instead of doubling down on monetization while things are still broken. It also signals that Fallout 4 isn't done receiving content even a decade after release, and Bethesda clearly wants Fallout 4 to be in a healthy state moving forward, especially with renewed interest coming soon due to the Fallout TV series releasing in December. But it doesn't excuse what Bethesda's done to us in the past, of course. The Fallout 4 Next Gen Edition released last year in a completely broken state, and they kinda just left it for a year. And the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition releases promising fixes for all of this, and, well, even more was broken. But the biggest disappointment in this update is what didn't arrive. Expanded mod storage on console was originally planned for this November patch, but Bethesda has officially delayed it to December now. According to Bethesda, the feature needs more time to be rolled out safely, and given how badly things went with the original release of the Anniversary Edition update, that's probably the right call here. Rushing mod storage expansion and breaking Fallout 4 all over again would have been a disaster, of course on top of the original disaster. Bethesda says they'll share more details about December's patch 2 in the coming weeks, and in the meantime, console players are being advised to protect their mod load orders, which says a lot about how fragile things still are at this point. And of course, timing is critical here. Fallout Season 2 premieres on December 17th, and Bethesda knows exactly what happened last time around, because Season 1 drove massive numbers of returning players to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. The studio desperately needs the game stable before that surge happens, or all of the goodwill repair efforts collapse even further. 10 years later, Fallout 4 is still relevant, still heavily played, and still essential to Bethesda's Fallout strategy, so it's important that they fix the game that, well, they're breaking a decade later. And that's why the Anniversary Edition backlash hurt them so much, and why this November patch matters more than it might appear at first glance. Bethesda seemingly broke things that really didn't need fixing, but this update shows they at least understand where they went wrong. Stability comes first, mods come second, and content comes last. If December's patch successfully delivers expanded mod storage without causing new problems, Fallout 4 might finally settle into the long-term stable state players have wanted for years now. But it does really suck that Fallout 4 was in a stable state for a long time and has been broken at the expense of paid mods. At least they're trying to fix it, but I mean the game was in a great state, and many of us PC players are still on the pre-next gen version from last year. But until then, Fallout fans are cautiously optimistic, watching patch notes like hawks and hoping the next update doesn't require another round of damage control from Bethesda. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Fallout news. And if you're looking for something else to watch, click one of the videos you're seeing on screen right now. I will see you there. Also, a huge thank you to all the amazing channel members.